All right, let's go back to the bar mitzvah. You get the cash from the parents and the relatives and stuff. Why would you then go and start investing? Because I tried that when I was a kid, but there was like no information out there when I did it.
So the markets were, I mean, my money was just sitting in Series E bonds for like 6 years. Like you have your bar mitzvah when you're 13,
government
right?
bonds?
Yeah, like government bonds. I was doing nothing.
Right.
I was a tennis player. I was playing tennis every single day.
Bonds.
Correct.
The coupon is just,
there's nothing.
It's garbage.
There's nothing. But that's what I put it in for 6 years. I was a tennis player. I got injured. I had Tommy John surgery. I don't know if you know Tommy John surgery. So they take something out of your other arm and they put it in this arm. Shouldn't have given me coffee. I feel like I'm talking faster than normal.
You're doing great.
But so I'm walking around school like RoboCop after my surgery, and I can't do anything. I'm already into college early admission. And so my parents gave me control of my bar mitzvah money. They thought I would lose it all. They thought that it would be a good lesson. Like, give the kid the 12 grand, he'll blow it in the stock market.
They knew you were going to trade.
Well, I didn't, again, I wasn't a trader at first. I invested in Viacom, Supercuts, and business objects. These were like my first 3 stocks. In my account, 1 month would go to like 12,100, then like 11,900. And I was like, this is so boring. And I'm sitting there with 2 casts, but I could still type. And this was 99, the stock market is going crazy. I gravitated towards tech stocks, but I couldn't afford the big tech stocks at the time, which was Netscape and Yahoo. So I was like,
because the prices were too
high.
high.
So I was like, what else is there? So there were upcoming little internet companies. And I was like, well, if Yahoo and Netscape, I mean, back then they weren't really anything. They just had hype, like they were being used by a lot, but they didn't have any revenue. So I was like, well, if these websites are valued highly, what about the smaller websites that are growing? And so I invested in like this company called NetTaxi, which was like an early Facebook. And the stock, went up 7 times. I sold too soon. I took my 20, 30%. Then I had the .com strategy. So I gravitated towards how can I grow my $12,000 account? Senior year of high school, 12,000 became 100,000. Freshman year in college, I made nearly $1 million. So I just got addicted to finding and tinkering to see what works. That's what people need to do. If they know nothing about trading or the markets, tinker. Test around, like put aside $1,000 that you can lose and play with it and test and see different strategies. Try, trading art, trade baseball cards, trade stocks, whatever you can do, but start to look, because every single industry that I found has these little inefficiencies that most people glaze over because they don't care. Like with penny stocks, most people don't care because they think the money is too small. Like, oh, you made 500 on the day, you made 2,000. Like in my whole career, I've made a few $1 million. That's nothing. In the game that you were playing, you can make a few $1 million in one day.
Yeah.
So it's just recognizing that. The good news is you have to make a few $1 million, you're set. Like I live a pretty good life.
Yeah, and I was trading the bank's money. So yeah, I mean, I think our P&L that year was like $100 million.
Correct.
But it was the bank's money.
So are you trading other people's money or your money?
Yeah, and it was a bunch of people on the desk, and you got to pay the sales force. And by the time you get into the meeting at the end of the year, you're walking away with, a lot
but that's
less.
good, because without them, you wouldn't have money to trade. And most people don't have money to trade. They're like, oh, I would like to make $2,000 in a day, but I don't have that money. So it's nice that I've made $2,000 today, but how do people get started? Like if you have a small account, you're not gonna make $2,000 in a day. So I try to teach my students, how do you make $100 in a day? And then you can size up later, once you have experience, once you have a bigger account. Right. Like today I bought 3,000 shares of this stock. If I wanted to go bigger, I could have. I donate all my trading profits to charity because I just want to show the process these days. But you could get bigger with a bigger account once you have experience. But you have to learn the process. That's the key that I really want to get people to understand.
It's like a martial art. It's almost like a martial art. You have to get a black belt or a purple belt before you can really go out there and compete and have a chance of survival.
And everyone is different, and it's a moving target. So just to make people understand that this isn't as easy as they think it is, like the market is always changing. Sometimes I have a perfect pattern, and if the market's different, if the market's bad, that pattern is irrelevant. Like Uber was a very hot company, but for whatever reason, the IPO market isn't good right now. Lyft's IPO didn't do well. So now Uber is dead in the water, which is a shock to everybody. Right. It's not an exact science, and people have problems with that. They want it to be an exact science. Like you learn mathematics, like who's the best at solving this formula. Even martial arts, like you learn specific moves and specific stuff that always works. With the stock market, you have to be willing to throw out your entire thesis, which is tough.